Welcome to DMV Pass. Hey there, thanks for your continued support. If you're new to this channel, subscribe now so you don't miss our future posts. This is a list of air brake principles and all CDL air brake test questions and answers are based upon them. Learn these principles and you'll see how easy air brake questions can be to answer with confidence during your test. Normally, air brakes use compressed air instead of hydraulic fluid and were originally designed for trains. As opposed to hydraulic braking systems that work well for cars and other light vehicles, larger vehicles require greater braking effort to bring them to a controlled stop. This is where air braking systems come into play as being great fits for heavy and commercial vehicles. Now let's dive into the main principles of air braking systems and how they work. 1. The air loss rate for a straight truck or bus with the engine off and the brakes on should not be more than 3 psi in 1 minute. 2. Your brakes are fading when you have to push harder on the brake pedal to control your speed on a downgrade. 3. The supply pressure gauge shows how much pressure is in the air tanks. 4. The brake system that applies and releases the brakes when the driver uses the brake pedal is the service brake system. 5. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, every day during cold weather you should check and fill the alcohol level. 6. You should drain the water from compressed air tanks because water can freeze in cold weather and cause brake failure. 7. To test service brakes, you should brake firmly when moving slowly forward. The brakes are okay if you do not notice a delayed stopping action, an unusual feel, or the vehicle pulls to one side. 8. On long downhill grades, apply the brakes just enough to feel a slowdown. When your speed has been reduced to approximately 5 miles per hour below your safe speed, release the brakes. When your speed has increased to your safe speed, repeat steps 1 and 2. Repeat this until you have reached the end of the downhill grade. 9. Your truck or bus has a dual air brake system. If a low air pressure warning comes on for only one system, what should you do? Stop right away and safely park. Continue only after the system is fixed. 10. During normal driving, spring brakes are usually held back by air pressure. 11. Total stopping distance for air brakes is longer than that for hydraulic brakes due to brake lag. 12. The most common type of foundation brake found on heavy vehicles is the S-cam brake system. 13. With air brake vehicles, the parking brake should be used whenever you leave the vehicle unattended. 14. For emergency stab braking, you should press on the brake pedal as hard as you can, release the brakes when the wheels lock, and when the wheels start rolling press the brakes fully again. 15. Parking or emergency brakes on trucks and buses can be held on by spring pressure. 16. The driver must be able to see a low air pressure warning, which comes on when pressure in the air tanks fall below 60 psi. 17. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, it is there to reduce the risk of ice in air brake valves in cold weather. 18. The brake pedal in an air brake system controls the air pressure applied to put on the brakes. 19. If your truck or bus has dual parking control valves, you can use pressure from a separate tank to release the emergency or parking brakes to move a short distance. 20. To check the free play of manual slack adjusters of S-cam brakes, you should park on level ground, chalk the wheels, and release the parking brake. 21. The most important thing to do when a low air pressure warning comes on is stop and safely park as soon as possible. 22. The air compressor governor controls when air is pumped into the air tanks. 23. The braking power of the spring brakes depends on the service brakes being in adjustment. 24. All air brake equipped vehicles have a supply pressure gauge. 25. If you must make an emergency stop, you should brake so you can steer and so your vehicle stays in a straight line. 26. The parking or emergency brake on a heavy vehicle can only be held in position by something that cannot leak away, like spring pressure. 27. A straight truck or bus air brake system should not leak at a rate of more than 2 psi per minute with the engine off and the brakes released. 28. Your vehicle has a dual air brake system. If a low air pressure warning comes on for the secondary system, you should bring the vehicle to a safe stop and continue only when the system is fixed. 29. Air braking takes more time than hydraulic braking because air takes more time to flow through the lines than hydraulic fluid. 30. Air brake systems combine 3 different systems. They are the service, parking, and the emergency brake systems. 31. The application pressure gauge shows how much air pressure you are applying to the brakes. 32. If you do not have automatic tank drains, you should drain the oil and water from the air storage tanks at the end of each day of driving. Thanks for watching until the end. Are you willing to support this channel with a one-time contribution? You can send us super thanks. Doing so will help us grow and more people will benefit from our work. We would be forever grateful if you do so. All you have to do is slide left on the section where the share button is located. Just tap on super thanks and follow the prompts. Thank you already for your support.